Sure, why not? I like hanging around. Hmm? Talking about some really interesting stuff. How do I know? How do I know it's interesting? Well, A, I'm doing it. And B, you guys become sparkly. Hmm? When it's not interesting, and I'm using interesting as an idea of not of a defensive mode. Like, oh, someone does something or say something, you go, interesting. And it's like a polite way to say, fuck off, you're an idiot, right? That kind of shit. But this interesting, intriguing, you guys get sparkly. You guys start to light up. So we understand the attraction we're offering and the numerous amount of potentials you have is working, right? It's giving you an aspect of yourself. So let's go ahead and talk about the finites of the now that are still unseen. The now in and of itself is so clean and so pure, it has no recognition of yourself in reflection. In other words, the equation of the now is attracted to you. All right? What does that mean? It means you can't pick what you want to get because you can't pick what is not equal. You can't seek unknown, impossible. You try it all the time, but when you intend, what do you intend with? Everyone knows, right? Memory. Everything experienced to give you a sight, the sight that this ego draws up and plans and lays it out before you and says, here's my proposal. And you go, okay, let's go get it. And you do the efforts of the now to move yourself through that plan to receive that image somewhere down the timeline, right? The now attracts. You can't reach into the unknown. The unknown is matched because you are now, the unknown is now, so it's matched. So you can't pick and choose what you want. Want is lack, so you only want, then you get what you want, which is what? Lack, of course. Equal vibration, law of attraction. You guys know this, basics. All right. So this idea of the now, when you feel it, what you're going to realize is that your truth is the feeling, right? What is untruthful is the mind, okay? What is not your truth is the mind. Feeling your reality is you. Otherwise, it can't be there. So the mind memory offers reflection based upon the feeling that you are now. I got to go to work. I don't feel like going to work. That's your truth. Mind says you have to go to work. Then you choose the mind. Simple. Now, if you choose the heart, I don't want to go to work, and you call in sick, don't make an excuse. Don't bullshit yourself. Don't fucking vibrate lies, because they're lies which are truth. Because since you did it, you spoke your truth, and your truth just happens to be a lie. But you can't be afraid of creation. See, because you are an individual singularity, and there is no attraction of consequential. That's the bullshit of polarity that you guys been trumping around, well, let's say since, I don't know, the beginning of fucking time. Beginning of humanity in that aspect. So since you are now, I don't want to go to work, you call up and say, I don't feel like going to work today. You don't give a fuck what they say, because that's your truth. And see, that's attraction, and that's how you feel, and that's what is attracted in the unknown. The vibratory equation of frequency, not the equation that sits in the memory. I know some of you, especially since technology is so awesome right now on your planet, that you guys can go back and relive certain parts of your old lives. In Roxy's case, playing a video game from 20 years ago that was the shit, and now it's pretty fucking boring. Because today, it's the shit, because that's now. So the vibration of that experience, listen to some of the old songs that you couldn't put down. You listen to it enough, you can put it down, right? And those ideas, now it doesn't mean they don't come back around in vibrational truth, but when they're forced as a remembrance to equate to the same feeling, then you only can draw upon the memory, right? Okay. So the now is, and it's full of frequency, vibration, realities, planes of existence beyond measure, infinite, all around you in every direction, no matter where, 360-degree bubble full of potential. So what is in that now that naturally comes into you, the attraction of the equal, is that idea of your next potential as an offering. That offering is to be felt as a standard, because that's how creation works. You never really think about creation. That's the secondary, right? That's to think as time, memory, and an ego. The trifecta, to think. Then you can think about the feeling you're having about the details that have just been attracted to you. And those aren't polarized worlds. They are just simply worlds. If you keep using polarization to measure your world, you get the equal vibration of history, of memory, feeling the same, and your life doesn't change. It changes in the constant of the now, but you feel the same shittiness at different varying degrees. Oh, I'm happy. Oh, I'm sad. Oh, I'm happy. Oh, I'm sad. Oh, I'm happy. Oh, I'm sad. You know, the whole thing that you guys have been cycling. You got it. You understand it. So this now attraction, what you need to realize is that now you have to feel that you are already doing your truth. You need to see that. You need to see that your truth is already happening. That's what you have to feel about it. Now, if sitting in this class is an exciting moment, or a mundane moment, or something of a trivial moment, or a repetition ideas, it really doesn't matter what the ego says. I don't give a flying fuck about the ego. He's not my friend, right? You're my friend. How do you feel about the moment? Not as a class, not as an idea of a teacher-student relationship, a channel idea of me coming in and speaking to you. Not that. How the fuck do you feel? Well, let me explain to you how you feel. Not in vibrational emotion, in reasonality. You feel the way you do, and however you feel is uniquely yours. It's because it's your truth. You've already arrived at your truth. You arrive at it in the now. Every now. It went off. Greetings, Carl. Thank you. All right. So now let's look at your nows. If you're happy, it's not noticed. Okay? If you're sad, is that noticed? Can the now be a truth of feeling sad without regretting the sadness? Is happy, feeling happy without trying to keep it? Can you be that now? The reactionary self is so instantaneously, it often, very often, goes unnoticed, because you're always focusing on the determinate now at such a subconscious level. You are determining the reality based upon the details that the minds are telling you what's happening, offering up a conclusion, and you vibrate as that truth, and you become that emotion, period. So you're getting the feeling that you are now happy, and I'm happy, I feel good, yeah. But are you feeling the now that's not happy, that's not sad, that is whatever it is without the mind coming in and labeling it? Being the arrival of the now shows you your truth. And your truth doesn't need to be explained. It doesn't need to be measured. It doesn't need to be fortified. It doesn't need to be justified. It doesn't need to be defended. Your now simply is when you can start to passage yourself to the moment at such a defining moment that doesn't have breaks of time, you're going to feel your beyond happy self. It kind of lights you up. It makes you happy, right? See, your mind is selling you a story. Usually, you're not happy because you're not doing what you want to be doing. But if you are now okay with doing what you want because it's already arrived, there's no reason to want to do anything different. Even if you are experienced the riving pain of suffering, can you be in that suffering as a now happy, beyond happy? Be in the happiness as a now happy, beyond happy. Can you be all of those things? Because we know the mind is yelling at you in your head. It's screaming all around you. Roxy had a conversation earlier. Yeah, but the mind's telling me this. No, the mind is telling you that. Are you listening to it? Is it your truth? Is it painful? And the answers are whatever they are intimately to you. That's the journey. That's the exploration of this ingenious idea of humanity using polarity as a way to experience itself at such a defining degree of uniqueness called separation. It's unparalleled. It's total fucking mastery. Painful mastery, I should add. But the pain comes from memory. It has to. The pain is not reality. The equation of time is pain. The equation of time is happiness. The now provides beyond those things. So put that up for me, Rox. Yeah, I can feel it. So if you realize you are now, that is your choice. Not in this fucking bullshit, I like this, I don't like this, I'm going to choose, not choose. Not that. Get out of the idea of time choice. Just be choice for me. Choice is attraction. Attraction is now. Now your class is not to come to class to learn. That's time, memory, ego. To become, have a relationship with. Nothing wrong with that. That is a reality and you guys are good at it. Hoorah! I'm not talking about that shit. I'm talking about now feeling the class. Realizing you're happy. And your happy is immeasurable. It's not happy or sad. It's your natural. It's this self of discovery. Okay? So as you journey more intimately, more honestly, more admittedly to yourself that everything is fucking you, and when you turn your eyes in an opposition manner to repel reality, then you will be polarized. And you can see yourself as that person choosing to live within, in the now, a memorandum field of operation using the spikes that are placed so tightly into it, holding it together, memory and time, and being the ego image, then you know you are choosing a life of now that is your time attraction, not your now attraction. The now attraction gives you a potential of everything you know. You choose the known because it's comfortable. It's an old friend. It's reliable. It's stable. It's steady. It's responsible. It's obligatory. It's complementary. It's respectful. It's algorithmic. It's humanity. Okay? So that wonderful life that you know is based upon certain standards in order to have the laws work in such a perfect way to give you this unique experience as a forgotten God. And you are aware of that. The awareness of you consciously driving yourself through this idea, this pickle barrel, trying to figure it out, has not worked for anybody. Everybody has died trying to use the resources of history to figure out creation. The evolutionary aspect is the default of carrying on for generations. Until someone becomes the master of their own kingdom, then they can see how they are creating, and that's where you are at. So you've done that portion. Now, to tread in this new world doesn't take details. It doesn't take laws. It doesn't take goals, and it doesn't use memory. It doesn't use history. It is, not uses, is the now. The now is. You are already using the now. Uses is time. So you got to become really singular as the moment, plural. Everything going on at the same time, right? my singularity experience involving all of creation. Now, that's where you got to get. You got to realize that your life is, not is going or was. If you choose is going and was, then you choose the now life of the vibrational match experiences that the ego, matching experiences of the ego that equate that vibration and give you a thought that gives you an experience emotionally. Two different worlds, divisionary and whole. The unum of you is starting to draw together the separated minds into one mind, the intelligent self that you've always been, the mastery that you are, well, let's say, venturing into. Where's Katie? This is Katie's tea. DNA is on it. Anyways, so I want you to look at this. I want you to look at the now. And I'm going to give you an example. Jennifer and Roxy are talking today. And there's, some of you old schools been in here for a while, know that Roxy's had 3 or 4 potentials. Nothing's played out yet because Roxy doesn't effort. She would have to change herself to make it that idea that those people wanted Roxy to be. She's never going to change herself to equation to meet the standards of a limitation to have an experience. It's an experience to have, nothing wrong with it. She could have maybe have been in a movie now or a TV show by now if she would have conformed to the rights of the memory mind. Those righteousness worlds, those truth worlds, not right or wrong righteousness, the truth of the self, but she chose not. Yet she still attracts potential. See, in her mind, she's still looking at maybe having the business odyssey of Ascension, Jennifer being on staff, setting up some stuff. She's well versed in hotel management. She understands how to get things together, how to have the inner workings of, let's say, travel work, things like that. She would be a great, and Janine is out there too, would be a great idea. There are many people would be involved in this and create a life. But the life can't be created out of lack because then it's right to the idea. Now, lack is not a bad word here. Lack I'm talking about is not to. You are not this and you want to be that. So that's lacking. You are lacking yourself. Not the negative connotation. Be a master with me today. Some of you went through there. Don't do that. So this lack life you have to gain life through effort, perfect, is not Roxy's forte, right? So she still sees, the stage, a couple places, speaking around the nations, giving slide classes as she's doing here, but just doing it one-on-one with the activity of interaction with humans. Exciting stuff, right? What she missed, and Jennifer realized, both of them realized today, is Roxy's already doing it. See, she was sold on the image. She didn't realize she's already doing. She loves this. But there was a portion of her that was still seeing that. And she wasn't realizing that this feeling of now of her is what's attracting her world. So instead of focusing on the further world, she focuses on the now world. So this world she is now is her fucking dream. It doesn't have to be on stage, but it will be. It doesn't have to be as a company, but it will be. It doesn't have to be anything particular, but it will be. Has to be, because it's already here. So now she understands I am already doing it. The vitality, listen close, of her focus enriches with such energy, it starts to double and triple and quadruple the attraction rate because she's realizing, oh my God, I'm doing it. See, she was loving what she's doing. She can't wait to class. She's seething by Sunday. Monday, she can't wait to start channeling again, right? And being this idea. So she didn't realize she's living it. She's living not the dream of being a channel. She's living her truth. And when and if anything comes along that is a vibratory match that she is very well versed in, choosing only her authentic, then she chooses, right? And we're talking about movement stages. Maybe let's say she's ready to move out of the apartment, but she can't choose to move out of the apartment. She wants to allow the opportunity to come to show her, here's where you're going to move, let's go. She's not going to do the effort. Tommy's been here 20 years. We've said this to a couple of the old schools, and he's ready for a move. Roxy says, yeah, let's move. Let's find something, but we're not going to effort. See, her now is they love being here. That's where you got to be. It's not about leaving the apartment because they've already left. Somewhere in the now, they're not here. They don't live here. Somewhere in the now, she's on stage, maybe next to Esther doing a dual channeling. Somewhere in the now, she's in California running up and down the beach. See? But you can't be that. You have to be this. And this starts to enlighten you, lighting up you. Not enlighten you as an intelligence, I'm becoming smarter and all of a sudden I can wear a diaper and eat a fucking leaf guru. What I am is becoming alive in me. I'm not using my jaded self, this other portion of me, as the structure, the monocle. Only appearing this reality, opening up to me. This jaded self I was to be the unjaded self that I am. I'm both jaded, but I am a perspective of myself. As you are, as Roxy is, as all of you are starting to see. The now is alive. Time is a vibration of the now that only has the equal that is not now, but it is now as a creatorship, right? You can create a memory and feel the same way about the memory in the now. You have a great memory. But when you try to recreate it through effort, it's always lackluster. Why is that? You guys, remember you always try to laugh and you had a great time and you try to make something funny again and it doesn't work? Well, because that moment can't be equated with the relationship because you are vibrationally a different now. You've always changing. But you can definitely choose the details and you can relate to the details as the same quantum through fear, and then you have the life of memorandum. You guys are good at that. But the life that you are, the life that you ever shall be, the life that you are, and the life that you ever shall be is already. That's where you need to be now. Now is not even 1 second outside of the now. Now is. It's difficult to navigate reality and time when you are a now person. Is your mind thinking? The turncoat, well, how do I be now? I mean, when do I know to go to the bathroom? Or when do I know to go to an appointment if I live in the now? If I don't prep myself, when do I know? How is that? You see, you don't. See, that's the key. And the discovery. You have no fucking idea how it's going to work out if you think about it. But I guarantee you, if you're now about it, you're going to know. You're going to experience the unknowable forever, as you're always doing. But the portion of you that sits in the memory, now to the memory, is a reality of repetition. You guys looking around the world, look how much you're fighting for your things to stay the same. You're scared shitless of change. You want things the same. When change comes, some of you embrace it and show that everyone else it's okay, and then you guys come trucking along. The internet was, oh my God, huh? Seatbelts. Oh my God, you guys weren't around for seatbelts. When seatbelts, and not all of you, some of you were, but when seatbelts became a law and everyone's like, oh, okay, you know, I couldn't get out of the car. I got trapped in there. Then airbags, same thing. Went through, flying out the window. Airbag killed him. Everything is, hey, wait a minute. No, it's not that. It's an experience of mind. And then enough people do it, and everyone says, okay, I guess it's okay to have an airbag now. Right? So you can see the struggles with humanity because the reliability on that fractal self, when they point their focus on this self, then they become that reality, and they use the paradigm, the vibrational matches of history that equal to the now truth. And they feel that way, right? See, the now is a current, is a current. It's flowing. It's not stopping to slow down to say, are you okay? Are you good? Need to talk about anything? The now is. It doesn't wait for you because you don't need to be waited on because you are the now. Yes. Oh, good stuff. Everyone is living yourself, not the dream. The dream is a future aspect. I mean, you can relate yourself as peering into a holodeck, creating an image called a body as a dream, sure. You're living the now. You're not living the dream. Be here, fully, be alive in the moment. Anything that you do, love the now about it. Any of these secondary thoughts? Let them run around. Let them turn into wisp and blow away. When you pay attention to them, the habit of the memory that says you have to do this, and if you don't, this will happen, scares the living shit out of you. But you have to break, what you have to do is break that algorithm by choosing not to employ the memory self, the conscience fractal, the egoic, to say, okay, I can't do that, you're right, all right, so we'll go ahead and do this then. Instead of what I want to do, I'll do what I have to do. And then you're not breaking to see on the other side of that unknown is only, pardon me, not burps, you. You're still you, aren't you? Have you ever not been you? No matter what image you're playing, you're always the constant of now. You're always you, having an individual experience. So whatever is coming is never any less than you. Can't be. You can't reverse your awesomeness. You can only negate it, escape from it. But you cannot become less than. The memory self can sell it. But you in the now, you know? So I live now, you live now, and we pool together our energies of reality, right? And we all draw them into each other as the co-creations, and people come in and people go out, people come in and people go out, and they're all having people come in and people come out over here, people come in, and I'm over here, I got 20 people, they got 20 people, they got 20 people, they got 20 people, and they're all mixing up on the idea of Earth, and they're moving around, and life is. That's it. See how simple it is? It doesn't have meaning, it doesn't have purpose. Those are humans. Those are human aspects. To regard yourself as that truth, to be that experience, and then you will have it because you're God. And you have everything in the equation of that you've experienced in the past, and you will feel the same. To feel now, realize this is your truth. Realize that now is. Realize that I'm alive. Realize that you're alive. Realize that Roxy's living a dream. She's realized she's not going to be rich. She's so happy finally about that. Because that was everything. To have money was everything. It was a big, big algorithm. Success, success, success. One day she may have a lot of money, but she'll never regard herself as rich. It's a relationship. I mean, she has enough tea back there. If tea was rich, she'd be a millionaire. But she doesn't regard herself as rich because it's tea. She just has abundance when she needs it. That kind of idea. You starting to feel that? So changing your relationships with what you are in time about, noticed in the now, realizing now is your truth, being in that, even if you're feeling pain or sorrow or suffering or mediocrity or hopeful or happy, joyous, orgasmic, being whatever you are as a memory, feel the now. That is the creator of that experience. That takes the conscience out of the memorandum ego, and you slip right into the isness of you. And you feel that this is my truth. And you don't need to measure it because there's nothing to measure. Why would you measure the unconditional reality that life is? Well, you can, but only one way, being an ego. Be the whole. It's there. It's never going away. You just didn't see it. You didn't feel it. You didn't know it. You didn't realize it. And through your awareness classes that you're taking, that you're realizing, doing the work in yourself, in whatever degree that is immeasurable, never needs to be justified. You guys have been rocking it to equate to this truth. Tonight, here you are. This is who you are. If you're not okay with it, know that the ego's not. If you are okay with it, without measuring it to be okay with it, then you know you are the present. Because the present doesn't judge whether it's okay with its now. The present is. Always. The present is. And is immeasurable. So you have a good, solid understanding of the habits of humanity. When you have a vibration, I need eyes, Roxy. Everyone okay? What's that, Pat? Pat, are you available? I'll get to it in a sec, guys. Okay, so he's not available right now. So let's look at this frequency. Okay, it's just a line, that's all. And when that frequency is natural, it attracts the equal frequencies, the line above it, right? And then you guys become unified for experience, whatever that attraction is. It can be a thunderstorm, it could be a cup of coffee, it could be a glance at a person crossing the street that reminds you of something. It's an attraction, it's an experience. So that is an equation field, right? So let's say that this is now filled and the attraction has happened. That's now. Since this now is occurring, what happens is since you have two portions of yourself, these two dots, A and B, A and B. A is the first self that you know yourself as. That's the human. B is second nature, the whole self. The B self doesn't care what this is. It just is. The A self needs to reflect because that's how it exists. So automatically, you guys were taught to look at your reality since a very fun little age. And looking at your reality is noticing how you are fitting into your reality through a judgment, punishment, reward system. You guys were taught to be right and wrong. Don't deny it. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be here. So this A self is taking this vibration and then equating it in its memory bank, and then it shoots up to the conscious self what it means, what it's potentialed, what it is, right? It's like, oh, this was this, so it'll be that. Yeah, but if that doesn't work out, this might happen. See, that's everything about the now is giving life A potential that is exquisitely and individually and exclusively belonging to the memory. It's all perfect. It's all in that egoic self. I'm here, now I'm the ego, and I use this and I employ it. But since you have time and you are aware, then you can see your memory as a choice, as the ego as a choice, as the self as a choice. You consciously. All of that's occurring, you got to realize all of it that is occurring is your truth already. It's just the way you get to see and feel. Don't consider the ego self a pain in the ass or a frustration, because then you equate the memory to the ego, which keeps it sustained, validated, around. So when that egoic self comes in and offers you pain, and you accept that pain, and you can feel the undertone of you as the pain is wallowing in you, then you can be the experience of the pain as a now vibration that doesn't give you a polarity measurement, save that's in the background. This B self sees the whole picture and doesn't care what the A self is beckoning you about. doesn't care that the A self is scaring the shit out of you. The A self is the one that's scared. The B self can never be scared. You can feel the fear in the A self. The ego self says, wait a minute, man, you have to. You need to go to work because if you get fired, then you're not going to be able to do this. And this is going to happen. Then we're going to get hungry and everyone's going to be pissed at you. And you're not going to be able to provide and everyone's going to fucking hate you. Just a big fucking giant elephant just took a shit on you. You know, just, right? So that self is not you. That's the A self encompassed in that whole world. When you engage in it, you have that experience. This B self is going, attraction, awesome. It sees its potential of time chosen. I can choose to be an A self. All right, I'll be an asshole. I'm going to be myself. Being is the B self. I'm going to be about this and feel it and let it come as is, unfiltered, untethered, unimaginable, truly. And feel the vitality of me in reflection upon myself. And that's where I live. That's where you all live naturally. But you've created a nature about you called first nature, the separated self. You are second nature, the intuit. So you see that attraction is just a basis of the now. Then the equation of time adds in, and here comes the ego self. And this now self doesn't listen to the ego self because where's this now self? In the now. It isn't in the ego, which is time. So there's two separate selves going on. You just didn't know you had a choice about it. Now you are aware of this self. This self is more consistent in the now. This self becomes dim, diminished, understood as a reality that was lived and can be lived, but will never be lived the same because you are new you relating to it. Any questions? Let's talk about this.
It feels like that idea about the ping ponging, going back and forth between, either you're polarized, and once you just embrace what you're saying about the feeling, it diminishes and you just remain in the now really effortlessly.
Yes. It will become a constant remaining because there's no interest or intrigue in the value of the self of A that you've been used to your whole life. Before, you guys wouldn't dare. You wouldn't dare fucking do anything that was obtuse or rude or distracted. Because then when you were a child, you were beat the shit out of it. It was beat into you to be right and not wrong. And as you grow up, you become a teenager and say, okay, you know what? This is not real wrong. Fuck you. I'm going to go and experience. So there's always that decree, but there's always that decree that's in the memory self. This natural self that you become this self, you have no interest in the memory self. So yeah, it's not an act of remaining. It's an act of being that can be looked at as remained.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thanks.
What state are you in, Pat? Gotcha. I love that song by the Bee Gees. Going back to Massachusetts. What a great song. Anyways. So to slip yourself into the now requires no effort. The noticeability of effort is when you're always imaging an outcome. You can notice when you're trying. That's effort. Being is effortless. Even when you're trying to be effortless, you're trying to be effortless, which is an effort. That's using constructs. We never think about the future. There's no reason to. We never plan. Why? Isn't the natural. You have worlds that plan and worlds that set goals all around you. You have parallel Earths and different realities of time-based experiences. Right. But you realize that your unique reality relationship is that you had to be this because you didn't know you had a choice not to be this. That's why it's so authentic. That's why it's so real. That's why it's so alive. Your fears are just killer. Your fears are deeply ingrained. You just panic and your stomach drops and you're so scared, like you're almost going to die. You get so depressed and discouraged, you can take your own life. It's that real because it's God. That's the 100% of creation. It's never diminished, ever. Be the now and feel alive in your relationship with your truth. See your truth that is attracted. See that the now is what it is. When you start being the is what it is, you're not going to be objectionable to the is because the is doesn't feel like what it was. And what it was is polarized. You can relate to it. We're going to get to classes on how to relate to time as a non-polarized idea. How to relate to memory as non-polarity. It's an aspect of truth, but you got to be fundamentally aware of you have a choice. When you say you have no choice, when you said you fucked up, when you said you did this, when you label yourself as having a tough time, I'm not sure, you're just being a portion of choice. The choice that says I'm going to be an image of fractal. I'm going to play this truth. Everything's drawn into that reality. The equations are matches, and you get to choose and choose and choose and choose and choose, and the only thing you're going to get is a forever. That's it. Any other questions? Oh, when you were in two realities, you frequency shift a little bit there? No, it wasn't Gaia's Groves. Let's say there is, okay, I'm going to take you to the center Earth just for a moment. I'm going to draw. We all know about that. Roxy's skills. Okay, let's look at the center Earth. See it? There's the center, and Earth is here, and Earth's here. Just you can see, all right? So in your first reality, you get parallel Earths as frequency shifts. You don't get parallel realities in so much until you are okay with frequency shifts on your Earth, okay? So what happened with Tommy today is he's on Middle Earth, this Earth, not the Middle Earth of Agartha, this center Earth in this display, right? He's in this center Earth. So what he did is vibrated in the frequency range as he's being more aware and drew in an Earth that was on the outskirts. And now there's no outskirts because there's no center. It's only centered to the relevance of you. It gives you an outer fringed Earth, a closer Earth, or an outer fringed Earth. And by the way, that's in any direction. Okay, so this is just for example. So the space-time location that Tommy and Roxy were at was at the North Star Mall in San Antonio, Texas. The space-time location that he was getting rained on inside the building was the Earth that was on the fringe where there is no idea of what you would call San Antonio, Texas. The area that is here is a jungle because of the polarized shifts that tilted the Earth because of a dramatic fair. Not a warfare, technology fair. Technology fair and understanding led to a Earth that tilted its axis, not even up or down, more like oblongly sideways. And so anyways, Texas became a jungle, right? So what do you guys call them? You guys are politically. A rainforest, thank you. So became a rainforest. So he was walking sequentialtaneously through two worlds. Now remember, your worlds are going to shift. Like Jennifer, didn't you say to Roxy that you had a set of mountains that have never been there before? Okay, so those are mountains that are there, but what you guys are tuned to is the frequencies. Now, how you interpret the frequencies is according to your filters. when you undo your filters, you see more realities steeping into each other's, bleeding into each other's, melding into each other's, and it doesn't matter how it looks because it's your world. Relax. But you're going to notice some differentiations. Maybe stoplights are in a different position, or the road is a dead end where it used to be a right-hand turn, or things like that. And you can go to between two worlds, but you can also blend worlds. That's in the occasion of Tommy today. He felt himself in the mall, but felt himself in a jungle environment getting rain from the above canopy. Not a lot of rain, but enough to notice it. Okay? So understand that. That's vibrational equation when you shift. That's why you're going to get different things. Don't get stupid with it, guys. And I'm going to say that rudely because I don't want you to get fucking stupid with it. Don't be in awe of it. Don't go, what the hell is happening? Don't try to figure it out, or you go right back to the memory, and everything is going to be equal to the memory that you are capable of in experience to give it a match and give it a fucking reason, which only depletes it down to the fucking two colors instead of the vibrational colors of potential. Accept, be the now, feel it, and let it unfold. You can't be afraid of you. And that's all it is. You attract you. You. Fall in love with you. Explore you. Be okay with you. Accept you. You. Brings out the you. And you attract magic. The worlds that you've been looking for. But you're trying to get through effort. Anyways, any other questions? Yes, Brett.
Person A in the graph would be the same thing as like my fundamental truth memory is the same.
Your ego self. Your ego self with all the covets. That's good. I like that. Fundamental truth. Sure.
Okay.
That it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and B is the intuit self, the whole self, the second nature, the one that doesn't need instructions, that arrives at, an idea of an emergency and just acts upon its joy and makes it look like easy, whatever it is. It's itself. Make sense?
Yeah, because I was re-listening to my conversation with Chameleon, and they were saying like my fundamental is no self-worth. And
yes.
The graph, I've been wondering how to deactivate that, but the graph that you drew tonight is it, with the A and the B.
Yeah, just be the self and don't worry about deactivating anything. You can't give it energy, because if you need something to be deactivated, you must pay attention to see if it is deactivated, because deactivated is in time. If you are now about your life, the deactivation happens naturally without your attention or effort.
Okay,
Make
thank
sense?
You. Yes.
Okay. All right. Anyone else? Good. All right, so tomorrow we're gonna talk about a reality of seeing yourself from this person to that person and understanding the relationship of choice with polarity worlds, but not being the equational experience of your history polarity. Okay? So we'll talk about that. Anyways, I'll bring Roxy back. Love you guys. See you tomorrow.